Hi, everyone. So I sat down to do my air signs reading, and I felt called to do a love reading. It's just giving this feeling of a love energy that's coming through. But I'm also feeling my air signs are feeling this sense of, I think it's freedom. You're feeling some kind of freedom. It's something to do with the way you've been communicating lately, perhaps. Maybe you're calling people out on their bluffs. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's this feeling of independence and freedom that is coming off of you. So that's why I felt like I wanted to sit down and do a love reading, because I feel like there's a shift in your energy, air signs, about the people that you have been attached to, or maybe perhaps the people you're trying to detach from. So I want to start by doing a love spread. I want to show if there's a person in your energy. I would like to show their energy, but I would then like to show yours as well to see if I'm on the right track with this. But I am getting the 10 of Wands here and the 6 of Wands. So these are very opposite energies in the sense that there's someone here who really thinks that this situation is over. That's why I think that could be you, air signs. But there's someone else here who thinks that the relationship may be successful. So that's why I'm feeling there's something going on. There's some kind of shift going on in your energy. I'm also sensing that someone here has a very powerful friend, or perhaps there's a friendship that's budding into a romance. So if this feels like your energy, I'm also going to pull some ancestor cards, but we'll get to that. Okay, so let's see what comes out. So we have the Queen of Wands, we have the 9 of Wands, and with the 6 of Wands came back out. So this is how you see your person. You're seeing your person as feeling as though this is very successful. And perhaps they're not wrong. Perhaps there's nothing wrong with the relationship per se. Perhaps there's nothing wrong with what they are doing. But it does feel like the shift is within you. And they're seeing you as very self-confident, knowing your self-worth, and really kind of investing in yourself. And that's the energy I was feeling, that there's kind of an independent energy coming off of you, air signs, and that they are sensing that. So it does feel as though you're both seeing each other correctly. So it's not really coming across as something wrong with the communication. It seems like it's pretty clear between the two of you. But the problem is this 9 of Wands. And the 9 of Wands is telling me that you perhaps both know that this relationship has crossed the finish line per se, but you're still both kind of hanging around. And maybe we're not entirely sure why we're still hanging around this relationship when it feels like perhaps it has run its course. Like the race ended, everybody went home, they packed up the tents and everybody's left, but you guys are still kind of pretending like the race is still happening. Hopefully you understood that analogy. It was pretty bad, but you understand what I mean. So I'm going to continue this spread for all of our air signs. So this is going to include our Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra in this spread. Then at the end, I'm going to pull 3 oracle messages for each of those signs. I'll pull 3 cards for each, and just to get the nuanced messages. But right now, this message is for all of my air signs. So as we said, your person is seeing you as feeling very self-confident. You're pouring into yourself. They see you investing into yourself, whatever that means for you. And they see you as that in and of itself is making you feel very balanced, that you almost needed that. There's an energy of this relief coming off of you with Temperance, that you really needed that for yourself, that perhaps maybe you've given enough, all of what you can with this 9 of Wands to the situation, but so now you're pouring back into yourself. That is what I'm getting. And it feels like a relief, or at least this is how your person is seeing you. But based on the energy I was already picking up, I get the sense that this is pretty close to what your energy actually is, but we will get to that. With the Nine of Wands, we're getting the Knight of Pentacles. And so this is just telling me that you're both still working at it. You're moving towards putting work into this relationship. It's like going back to the analogy of the race. You're still working as though you're still running this race, but the race is over. Like the people who do the time already went home. So that's the feeling that you're both still kind of putting in towards this thing, but I'm not really quite sure yet why. And then with the way you see your person, you're seeing them as the Six of Wands, that this is very successful, but you're also seeing them as perhaps closed off. You may feel that they have withdrawn their energy. You may feel that they are perhaps being too, if not secretive, although it is giving a somewhat of a secretive energy, the way that you see them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are being secretive, but this is the way that you're seeing them. Or this could indicate that you feel as though they're holding themselves back from their own destiny, that perhaps they've not yet been able to face their fears when it comes to certain things. And it's just giving the sense that perhaps you have outgrown this person. But let's keep going. So then we have Judgment, the Nine of Cups, and the Hanged Man. So, wow. If you think that your person has not been facing their fears when it comes to something, this is telling me, with the Judgment landing right here, this is telling me that your person really is waking up to something. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do anything about it, because I'm getting the sense that perhaps they won't do anything about it, but we'll see. But what this is telling me is that your person is waking up. They're understanding that perhaps they were the problem in this relationship, that maybe you have outgrown them. Maybe you completed the race. Maybe that's what that is. You completed the race, but they're still trying to catch up to you. They've not yet completed the race. So you're hanging out at the finish line, even though everyone has gone home, because you're waiting for your person to cross the line. That's what that is. I got it. So your person is waking up to this. They know that you are light years ahead of them when it comes to this spiritual journey that you are on and our metaphorical race. But you both want this. With the Nine of Cups, this is going to be right in the middle of our spread, because I'm going to do another row. This is the center of our spread, and you both want this. You're both bringing this towards each other because there's obviously so much love here. The Nine of Cups is just a complete overflowing of abundance of love. And that's what you're bringing that towards each other. And I think that's why you're still hanging out at this finish line, because you love them so much. Even though you may realize that it's not good for you, there's a relief in knowing that there could be some independence, but you know that it's time to accept the fact that your person may not be catching up. That's the current state that I'm feeling. And this is you. You are the Hanged Man. You are the Hanged Man, which is what we've been saying. You're just sitting at the finish line going, okay, cool. I did all my work. I untied all my karmic knots. I've done everything I'm supposed to do. But now you're like looking at your watch saying, well, where's my person? He or she should have crossed the finish line by now. And that's not yet happened. With the Judgment card, we're getting the Eight of Swords. So this kind of confirms what I was already feeling, that your person is having this wake-up call. They know they need to catch up. They know that they're not catching up, but they're stuck in their own heads. They're talking themselves out of catching up to you. It's not really clear yet necessarily why they're doing that, but they're definitely doing that. They know they need to catch up. They begin to catch up. They start moving at a snail's pace with the Knight of Pentacles, who just by nature moves at a snail's pace. But they're talking themselves out of it, and that's part of why they've not yet caught up. With the Nine of Cups, we're getting the Ten of Swords. So I think that this is an energy that you're headed towards, because this is your immediate future. That no matter how much you both wanted this, there is this feeling that you're both accepting defeat here. And this, almost with the 10, gives a feeling of a divine intervention, that the universe is just kind of taking pity on you, in a sense, that you've stood here at the finish line, you're feeling relieved, but now you're tapping your watch saying, when is my person going to catch up? And the universe is telling you with this 10 of Swords, which is in your immediate future, that this is just not going to. It's just not going to work for you. So the universe is kind of sticking a fork in this whole situation and saying, that's it. They're not going to get there. They're not going to get to this finish line. They're on a different journey from you. So then with your energy, if at the Hanged Man, we're getting the 7 of Pentacles. So I think this is just confirming that this is all of the investment that you have put into this relationship because you love this person so much. But now the universe is saying this is going to require some discipline. We want to take you out of your time out, but it's going to require some discipline. It's going to require you detaching from this situation. Yeah, that's what I've got. So let's keep going. So then we have the Queen of Cups, the World, and the Queen of Pentacles. So, you know, when I first sat down, I was telling you that I felt this energy of independence, freedom, the sense of relief. And I also felt the sense to do a love reading. And now it's becoming pretty clear to me now why I had all those feelings. With both of you showing up as queens in your feelings, it really kind of shows me that your person is, the wake-up call that your person was getting was similar to what you already knew, that this is just not working. This is not, you guys are on so completely different spiritual paths, or just paths in general, that your person is really pouring into themselves right now. And you are really pouring into yourself right now. You are investing into yourself in all of these very disciplined ways that the universe wants to see you do. And your person is just kind of learning to love themselves. So you can't really come to a relationship. You can't cross the finish line of a relationship with another person until you have self-love. And I think that's the wake-up call that your person is coming to. And that's why the World is falling here, that this is a completion of a cycle for both of you, that this contract is now over. You both learned exactly what you were meant to learn in this situation, but it's time for both of you to take those lessons and apply it to the next thing in your life, and not continue to hang out in this energy of a race that you have already won, a race that this person is not even supposed to be in. And you both can break free from this energy and move towards what it is that you're both destined for, even though it won't be together. But I get the sense that this is not going to be that painful for you. It might be uncomfortable in your near future, because there does look like there's going to be some kind of a divine intervention that finally says this is over for both of you. But in the long run, even when it's happening, it doesn't feel to me like you're going to be that uncomfortable. It feels to me like you were really prepared already for this energy, for this knowledge, that while you were standing there tapping your watch at the finish line, it was starting to dawn on you that maybe they're never coming. So with the Queen of Cups, we're getting the Page of Pentacles. And I think this is your person just kind of understanding. This is the realization that your person is coming to, that they're not ready. They weren't ready for this. They weren't ready for you. They weren't ready for this race. They weren't ready even for a relationship until they learn to love themselves. And whatever that is for them, that's their journey to figure out. That could be all kinds of wounds from the past. It could be childhood wounds. It could be mother wounds. It could be past relationship wounds. It really could be a myriad of things for everyone involved. But the point is that they're aware of that, and they're going to solve that on their own. With the World card, we're getting the Five of Cups. So of course we're going to get the Five of Cups. When this soul contract is over, you're going to feel sadness, grief, I think is what's coming off of this. But of course you're going to feel grief because the universe just stuck a fork into your Nine of Cups. Like, that doesn't necessarily feel good. There's a lot of memories, there's a lot of love, there's a lot of things that you have experienced with this person, a lot of lessons, memories, all kinds of things that are going to continue to crop up as you release each other. So this is probably just asking you to kind of prepare for those things that might pop up that you might say, oh, wow, maybe coulda, shoulda, woulda. But this is just a reminder not to. And here's how I know, because you are coming in here with this Ace of Wands, and you started out as this Queen of Wands, that you know that you are to start something new. Follow your passion, whatever that is. Invest back into yourself. This could be work for some of you that you have been neglecting because you've been too busy focusing on this relationship. Or this could be anything. This could be a passion. This could be a talent. This could be a new relationship. It almost doesn't matter. The point is that in this reading, this love reading that I just did, that this is coming to a very clear and concise ending. 10 of Swords, the World, and then a new beginning with the Ace of Wands. That really couldn't be any clearer. At the bottom of the deck is the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups popped up here just to remind you to follow your heart. And I believe that's exactly what you're doing here, air signs. So I do want to take a look at your chakras, because that is what I do. Reiki is what I do. And just kind of see how you both are doing. So on your person's side, we have Heart with Mature. And on your side, we have Earth Star with Control Freak. So I do feel that that is the way that you see each other. That your person is seeing you as having this open heart, and it's mature, and you've been patiently waiting for them. But you see your person as this control freak who's stuck in this Eight of Swords, and they really can't get there because they're talking themselves out of it. And that may be when you started to feel frustrated, when you started to feel like you needed to release this person, why I was getting this energy of freedom and release and everything else that was coming up when I first sat down. So I do want to try to get a couple of messages from your ancestors too, because sometimes we can get a little more insight from them. So your ancestors are saying it's not easy, and that's falling in with the Eight of Swords and the 10 of Swords. And then, okay, there's a specific message here about a house. So if it is the case, air signs, that you are currently cohabitating with this person, or you share a home or investments, it doesn't necessarily have to be a house. It could be a business. It could be anything that you've invested in together. If you have pets together or children together, that untangling from this relationship where there is so much love and so much patience, that your ancestors are saying that they understand what you're going through, what you will be going through. But this is also telling me that your ancestors are here with you, and that when they realize that you are going through this grief of the Five of Cups, that all you have to do is reach out and ask them for help. So I would like to get a couple of love messages just to finish this up, and maybe why your person couldn't make it with you. So we have self-indulgence, which says self-worth and value, time to heal, shadow work, and self-appreciation. Well, that is exactly what we've been saying about your person, that they need to learn self-love before they can really bring that to the table of any relationship. But especially with you, because you have done the work. I can see you with Temperance, that you have done the work. With the World card, you've done the work. You've completed this cycle. You untied the karmic knot. You've finished out the contract that you came here to do with them. And that's what's coming out for here, is that they really need to learn how to do that self-love. And then you have Coffee Cup with meeting and talking, savoring the moment, feeling elevated, and building friendship. So do you remember when I first sat down, I said it feels as though there is a person here who has a powerful friend in their energy, or maybe a friend who it may be blooming into something else? Well, that's what I'm seeing here. You're building some kind of a relationship with this coffee cup and this Ace of Wands. There is a relationship that is building here. It could be a friendship, because when I sat down, I felt friendship, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And you may not even know this person yet. When they show up as an ace, a lot of times we don't even know who that person is yet. So, but now I would like to get into pulling a card for each of my air signs. So I want to start with Gemini. I want to pull 3 cards for each of you just to kind of get your nuanced messages. So this says, it's number 33, speak to yourself with kindness. Become aware of how you speak to yourself. So yes, Gemini, this is going to be about when you're going through your 10 of Swords, when you're going through your 5 of Cups, that you're still very kind to yourself, that there is still a loving way that you approach yourself in the situation. And if you blame yourself for things that are going on in this relationship, don't blame yourself. None of it was meant to happen in a different way. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen. That was the contract you signed up with long before you even met this person here in the 3D. So just remember to be very kind to yourself. So Gemini, I want to pull another tarot card for your specific situation. So you have the 6 of Wands with victory. So to me, this is saying that this is just celebrating what you did with this person, because you saw your person as very victorious. It's like you acknowledging the fact that you both succeeded in this. It may not feel like you succeeded because you ended up separate from each other, but you both did exactly what you were asked to do, which is why you've both completed this cycle. And it's why you're apart, because you completed the cycle. You were never meant to permanently be with this person, Gemini. So let's get one last big picture oracle card. We have the Moon card, which is all about your intuition and recognizing the truth about things. And I think, Gemini, you are very good about deciphering the truth in situations. I think that most of the Geminis that I know are like human lie detectors almost. So, and it's because you're very intuitive. And this is you just kind of putting all these pieces together, that this was a soul contract. This was never meant to be more than that. You both completed it. You intuitively know that. You feel victorious. So if you ever feel doubt about that, if you ever feel like, oh, wow, maybe I could have done this differently, or maybe I should have waited at the finish line longer for this person, don't. This is clear confirmation that you did everything exactly right. It may not feel easy right now or all the time, but you did. So congratulations, Gemini. So that is your reading. So now I would like to pull a card for our Libra friends. I'm going to pull 3 cards actually for you, Libra. So the first card we have is the number 25 with listen. Your inner child has something to say. So this reminds me of this Ace of Wands that we saw for you here, Libra, that whatever this passion is that you are maybe about to encounter, whatever is around the corner for you, this could be something that you loved as a child, that you did as a child, you were very talented as a child. This reminds me right now of someone holding a microphone. So if you were singing or speaking into a microphone as a child, that's just one example, but make it make sense for you. If you love to cook as a child, if you were very psychic as a child, this is what's bringing this up, is that listen to that, because that may be where this is going now that you have completed this contract. But let's see, I want to draw another tarot card for you, Libra, to see what else we can get about that. For you specifically, Libra, we have the Fool. So, wow, this is more confirmation, more confirmation about this Ace of Wands, that it is time now. You've completed this cycle. You're leaving this race behind. You've finished it a long time ago. It's time to start something brand new. And it has to do with something your inner child is trying to tell you, Libra. That is exactly what that is saying. And then lastly, for you, Libra, we'll pull one big picture oracle card to see what else. Oh, so the bouquet just wanted to pop out, which is all about your spiritual gifts. So this is more confirmation that your inner child is trying to remind you of your spiritual gifts, and that is the direction, the leap that you should take towards that Fool energy and towards this Ace of Wands. But I want to pull another one. I like to have jumpers come out, but I also like to pull the cards deliberately. So Libra, you're going to end up, I'm going to shuffle that again. You're going to end up with one more card, Libra. And you got the cross card, which is all about your destiny and things that you have to do. So Libra, if you're feeling regret, like we saw with this Five of Cups here, if you're feeling regret about the situation, or that perhaps you could have done more towards this person or towards this relationship, the World card and the Cross is here to remind you, Libra, that this was your destiny for this relationship to end. That your destiny was always to get the lessons, complete the contract, and move on. So do not blame yourself if you feel that you could have done something differently, because it was never meant to be different. That's what the Cross is telling me, Libra. So that is your reading, Libra. And now I'm going to lastly move on to our friends, our Aquarius friends. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for you, Aquarius. So we have number 26, Aquarius, with practice freedom. That is the word I used when I first sat down to this reading, if you recall. There's something here about freedom and wanting to be free from something and to be released from the weight of judgment. Now, this is a perfect Aquarius card, because Aquarius doesn't really like to be weighed down. They like to feel lightweight. They like to feel free. They like to not be in the judgment of other people. They like to be able to just be themselves. And so this is really going along with this, that being out of this relationship now, which we saw with the 10 of Swords and the World card, being outside of this relationship and realizing that this soul contract is over has released you from feeling the weight of judgment that maybe this person was imposing on you, perhaps not not intentionally. They weren't intentionally trying to do that to you, but that may have been how you were feeling, because it just wasn't right. You just weren't a good match for each other. So, but let's get a tarot card too for you, Aquarius. So you have the 5 of Wands with strife. So this does tell me that you are going to waver back and forth a bit once you have walked away and released this soul contract with this relationship, that you're going to waver between feeling the grief of this 5 of Cups and the 5 of Wands and feeling the sense of strife come over you that the freedom will bring. That you may have second thoughts perhaps about releasing this person, that maybe there are things you could have done differently, things that you should have done when it came to this relationship, that perhaps you should have stayed at the finish line a little bit longer. But this is just a reminder, though, that there's a World card here saying, no, this was the end. This was out of your control. The universe took over with the 10 of Swords and the World card. The universe really took over. This was out of your hands, and that now practice freedom. That's the clear message. So let's get a big picture oracle card for you, Aquarius, to wrap this up. Final messages for Aquarius. So you have the Tower card. So the Tower card can be a very isolated type of energy. So I do think that the message that's coming through very clearly from this is that when you do waver between wanting to be free, but also having regrets or feeling the strife that maybe you should have done something differently, this is a really clear message for you to go inward and to meditate. So Aquarius, I think that is your advice, is just to make sure that you understand on a spiritual sense and really go inward and remember that the universe was completely involved in this soul contract, that it was never meant to go beyond the length of the contract, So when you're standing at the finish line saying, why hasn't my person come here yet? And you really, really, really wanted that person to come to the finish line, but they just never did. Understand that that was the agreement you made long ago with this person before you even met them in the 3D. So if you're wavering between strife and your freedom, just go inward and talk to your higher self. Talk to your ancestors and spirit guides. They know it's not easy. The untanglement of this relationship is not going to be easy, but it's right. It's the right thing. And just go inward and meditate and ask your guides, because they always have the answers and they'll always give them to you. So that is your reading, air signs. So thank you so much for watching. And if this was resonant for you, please let me know and we will do this again sometime. Thanks, everybody. Bye.